we're talking about competition rules. And of course supermarkets are in competition with one another, and that's very, very obvious. And they're in competition with one another to satisfy consumers. And so of course that can work very much against farmers because it leads to strong pressure on suppliers and some thoroughly bad practices. Now, in the UK, we have attempted to deal with this in recent years with the appointment of somebody called a groceries code adjudicator to investigate bullying tactics amongst supermarket buyers against their suppliers. And I was a bit concerned over the first few years of this institution coming into existence that it didn't actually do anything. But recently, our groceries code adjudicator, who's called Mrs. Taken, has actually claimed a scalp. She hasn't been able to find a large retailer, but she has obliged them to part with £1.2 million to contribute to legal costs. And this is a start. This means that she has got some teeth. And she realises that large retailers are anxious to protect and enhance their corporate reputation. This is something that's important to them. Indeed, she is playing on this concept of naming and shaming. And so I feel we've made a start in the UK, and what I really do not want is to see legislation from institutions here undermining our groceries adjudicator. Now, I want to link this to, we're talking about competition, and competition involves state aid laws. And I'm interested to see that Apple has been ordered to pay up to £11 billion in back taxes to Ireland for apparently not obeying state aid rules. And I'd be interested to hear from our Irish MEPs, I think there are 3 in the room, as to what they think about this. Thank you.
MEP Agnew, I'm one of those Irish MEPs. I'm not exactly puffing my chest out with pride today at our country's beggar thy neighbour policy of getting investment into our country. I am of the opinion that the EU should mind its own damn business, but I think we should make up our own mind. And if we were making up our own mind, and we were a sovereign state, and I had anything to do with it, I wouldn't adopt a beggar thy neighbour policy, because it might work in the short term. And okay, diplomacy with your neighbours, they're not exactly always your friends. It's always, you've got to fight over these things. But there's one thing for sure, we are making lots of enemies, and after a while, that's going to cost us. So, what do I think? Well, we shouldn't wait for Big Brother to slap us on the wrist to do the right thing. We should do the right thing because it's right.
To answer Mr. Agnew's question, my view on this is that when the European Commission told an Irish government that it had to saddle the Irish people with €64 billion worth of European banking debt, our government acceded. When it told Irish governments that they needed to saddle ordinary Irish businesses and Irish families with additional taxes and charges, our governments acceded. So when the European Commission tells an Irish government that it needs to recoup €13 billion for the Irish people, then my view is that the Irish government should do just that.